My name is Rafia Ilyas. I'm an architect. I have about 20 years of experience as an architect. I am a graduate of UET and I did my executive MBA from LAMS. I'm currently running my design firm by the name of Tangent Square for the past 5 years. I am the only architect in Pakistan so far who has designed two of the 5 National Incubation Centers, or NICs, in Pakistan, and I'm currently designing a third one. And I happened to run into Khurram Zafar, who offered me the project, and it so happened that I was there to discuss a furniture business idea, and then he ended up giving me a layout that was supposed to look like Google, and it didn't. So he's like, make it look like Google. And that is how the first NIC came to my lap. And he said, if we like it and we win it, then you will build it. And that is how I ended up starting my own firm. And now, mashallah, it's been 5 years. So what I intend to do is to help build a better Lahore. Currently, we've seen a lot of different styles of architecture being made in Pakistan, and also particularly in Lahore, where there's no sense of direction. We're doing a lot of Spanish architecture, which is not really Spanish, but it's just a take on, classical elements that have been used as Spanish architecture. And then at the same point, we're going towards modern, which is not exactly modern as well, because we're not using the right materials. We're ending up killing our greenery and our green spaces and building taller structures. So, okay, they're killing the environment. They're destroying our ecological essence of Lahore. Lahore was a city of gardens, and it was meant to be a beautiful green city with, wonderful spaces to sit in. We're killing all those elements which we already had we inherited from the Mughals, the British, and unfortunately we have killed all our urban spaces. So now I intend to design spaces which should help make the ecosystem better, our environment better. We need to promote natural materials. We need to go back to our vernacular heritage and use materials and design styles which were used particularly for the weather of Lahore. Going higher in vertical construction is not the way forward unless we use it properly. I mean, our weather doesn't permit for us to build taller structures. And it's not just because of the change in weather conditions, but it's also what we are building for Lahore. कि हमने कितना kill कर दिया Lahore के जो temperate होना चाहिए था, अब वो extreme पे चला गया है, क्योंकि newer laws have been introduced where they're allowing structures to go taller. And while our weather doesn't permit it, humidity and everything, we're forced to live in closed environment where we are supposed to live in an air-conditioned space. जबकि हमारी natural ventilation, जैसे कि पुराने घरों में होता था, tall ceilings, रोशनदानियाँ होती थी, वो सब खत्म कर दी गई हैं. So it's really heartbreaking to see that we are pushing ourselves into the direction where we're not being able to enjoy our weather. We're not able to enjoy the greenery outside simply because the weather doesn't allow us, and then our own constructions, they are leading to the heat that's being dissipated by all the concrete jungle that we've created. The newer buildings, they don't use the energy efficient materials. They're permitting fumes that are dangerous for our health. ये MDF वगैरह जो हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं, it's easier to use, it's cheaper to use, but we're killing our environment because we are enabling structures which are not healthy to live in, actually. So my advice to future architects who are coming up, I would suggest to them to ensure that once they come into the field, they should ensure that their city is a better space in terms of the ecotourism and the ecological development of the city is in line with the kind of weather we have and our environment. Because अगर हम ये चीज़ें भूल जाएंगे और हम imported techniques को use करेंगे rather than considering the fact that what works for our weather. अगर हम दुबई को देखें, so that being a desert, they're introducing different techniques to help their environment better and to create a greener space. वहाँ पे zoos बनाए जा रहे हैं, वहाँ पे botanical gardens introduce किए गए हैं, parks create किए हैं, जबकि वो harsher weather है लाहौर से. So again, my advice to the younger architects is to be considerate of the fact that we are in dire need of improving our building standards and improving the kind of structures that we build so that they are environmental friendly. We should reincorporate our vernacular architecture to introduce the better techniques of building that were used prior to this modern era, and to encourage a better environment in our spaces, which should be naturally ventilated, which should have daylight, but yet at the same time enough air to filter through, so that we do not need to adhere to modern techniques of artificial and mechanical air conditioning, and encourage spaces which are more green. They should in fact be naturally ventilated, and be healthy for our younger generation, who are already exposed to so many unhealthy habits. We need to encourage spaces which encourage people to be in the outdoors more, in a more natural environment than just a forced environment that we create by just simply designing spaces which are not considerate of the environment.